Hello everyone, this is my reaction to last Friday's Star Citizen Live, Cargo and Hangars. As always, this is not a summary, I only talk about things I find important.
In the Hangars and Cargo SCL 4 months ago, it was said that it just missed the release and that you were really close. What the hell happened?
Time is relative? No. So a few things on that. First is, when I said that, first off, I do regret using that exact terminology.
Chat is spending 13 more minutes, I'm not kidding you, 13 more minutes trying to justify his wording. I spare you this, it was just blah blah.
Are we going to have more room to park ships and vehicles on the sides of our hangars? Are there any plans to add side rooms to players' persistent hangars for things such as HABs, firing range, repair and modification facilities, or even just a large room with a cargo grid where players can customize as they see fit? And can you get rid of the garage in our hangars so we can just set up our furniture better? Too many random cables and boxes lying around. Can you clean up all that garbage that's along the sides? I'm merging all these together because the answer to all of these are sort of the same thing. We plan to add garage modules. So we don't intend to expand the pavement, but there should be more room for vehicles when you could basically add on modules and expand the hangars to the left and right and to the front and back and there's different sections. The plan is for personal hangars to be able to be customized and expanded in the future with the addition of these hangar modules. The exact list of modules are still being defined at this point, so I'm not going to be able to give you a list of whether it's a firing range or something like that. But you will be able to modify your hangars to certain extents and expand them out in other directions and stuff so that you can bring vehicles out and kind of store them off to the side. You don't have to use the ship elevator for bringing all your ground vehicles and stuff, or just your smaller fighters and stuff off to the side. And as far as cleaning up the garbage around the end, we've already done multiple passes for the base hangar OCs, so we're listening to the community and moving in the right direction. That's Ian speaking there. We want to split the data for instance hangars and personal hangars separately so that we can completely remove everything in the personal hangars while still leaving some form of dressing and world building in the instance hangars.
I don't even know anymore if I should be sad or if I should find this funny. We plan to in the future. Yeah, we have plans. Do you realize we are in year 12, you have more than $720 million and you still plan to in the future. Of course, no one expects a first iteration to be perfect from the start, but it would be very nice if CIG, for a change, would have some plans, some concept, would have some thinking things through, would have some thinking in advance. But no, this is a Chris Roberts game.
The freight elevators are positioned a bit awkwardly in the hangars for loading and unloading in relation to the ship pad where you land. A lot of the hangar ramps are in the back and the freight elevators off to the side. Has the team considered moving the elevator to accommodate these? This goes back to the same hangar modules. So of the hangar modules will also be where you place the freight elevator.
Don't worry, there will be modules for your personal hangar and you can place freight elevators and other items. Why isn't this in the game? No? Because CIG hasn't done any work on this yet, so don't expect this anytime soon.
Are there plans for the station cargo decks to play a role in cargo hauling and logistics gameplay? Folks might remember we added cargo decks to space stations 2 years ago? 3 years ago? No, it's a while. These need a significant rework. They were built with an intention and a design philosophy that existed back then. We've since evolved our thinking on how these things should work, so they will need to basically a rework to incorporate them into the current version of cargo gameplay that Chad and his team have created, have gone out in 3 of 24 and will continue to iterate in subsequent patches.
Translation: the station cargo decks were just eye candy put into the game to make Star Citizen look impressive. There was no gameplay attached to it. And now that we actually started to think about gameplay, those station cargo decks will be removed and reworked. I know I sound like a broken record, but when it comes to CRG, they never have a plan, they never have a concept, they never think things through. They are just putting something into the game, something that took a lot of man hours to make, just to remove it later when they are actually working on the basics. This is totally backwards. Chris, you have a concept first, and then you start with it. You don't put eye candy into the game to make it look nice, and then you're starting to think about how is this supposed to work. This is the main reason why we have so little in year 12.
Will you implement a mode switch for tractor beams to give functionality like the Atlas has to the multi-tool or dedicated tractor beams so that there's more parity between the three? Or is this something that's exclusively to the Atlas?
For the moment, it's exclusive to the Atlas. There is some discussion internally about like maybe doing that.
Of course, the better, faster tractor beam is exclusive to the Atlas. CRG wants to make money. But listen to this is Marketing 101. There is some discussion internally, so always have the door half open. Give players some hope. I don't think CRG will change handheld tractor beams to the way Atlas tractor beam works.
This question is asking if we'll be able to log in or out of our hangars moving forward with these beds that are in the sitcom pack.
And one of the things in particular that we're going to work on is logging in and out of hangars specifically. We want to support that. That's something that we've already been working on to some extent on the technical side, but there's still more work to go there. I don't want to say that when you get this particular thing, a certain feature is going to be supported in the next release, though. So, like, as far as that goes, like, I don't plan on that being a supported thing by then. But logging in and out of hangars and bed logging is going to be developed further, is what I'll say.
Okay, at least CRG didn't make it pay to win. You have to buy the SystemCon package to be able to log out of your hangar. So we will get this in general, and the bets won't give you this when they are in the game. But is it too much to ask to think in advance and to acknowledge that people want to log out in the hangar? I mean, how many immersive elevator rides, immersive metro rides can you do until you just don't want anymore? I think I have well over 10,000 by now. Why can't we just log into our hangar? This should be trivial, but yeah, this is CRG.
What work is being done to stop our Hangar Deco from bouncing around so that we can make our hangars the way they are shown in ISE? We actually answered this last week with Benoit. That's here because I want to refer people back to Benoit. Basically, it is not a feature issue, it is a matter of physics. Physics is one of the largest performance hits to the server. So that is basically it, trying to negotiate the physics of all those items placed on other items. As server performance improves, as server meshing provides us the benefits to server performance that we all hope it will and stuff like this, that problem will become less and less severe as it is, and then we'll be able to go in and find the individual edge cases that cause it here and there and there.
We know this is about physics. We know CRG has to save server resources. This is fine. But why show it in IC and make it look like, hey, you can now decorate your hangar, you can put your guns on the table, everything will be fine, when in fact it still doesn't work, and you know it doesn't work at this point in time. Will it work in the future? Will CRG be able to do server meshing? We don't know yet. So please don't show us faked videos when you know exactly it doesn't work at this point in time.
Currently, in Live 324, when we call our ships while we are in a party member's hangar, our ships spawn in our personal hangar instead of the party member's hangar. Will that change in the future?
For sure.
Is spawning vehicles from the cargo elevator still planned?
Absolutely.
Can we have an option to remove or disable the alarm in the hangar every time a ship is called?
I don't know about that. It's not a thing that we've talked about or I've heard even feedback on.
This shows you once again that CRG is not playing their own game. Every time you are in your personal hangar and you spawn a ship, lights go out, you hear this alarm, ship elevator goes down, hatch closes, then lights go on, then lights go out, ship elevator comes up and lights go on again. And all the time you have to hear this annoying, stupid hangar alarm sound. This is exactly what Chris wants. Chris wants a cool cinematic game. He doesn't care about players. After you have seen this a few times, you are just so tired of it. And why do lights have to go off and on?
I think at this point, people have enjoyed the pomp and circumstance of getting these ships. It's a really cool thing when you do it.
I don't think you can be any more removed from your player base as Shad is. Yeah, this looks like I want to make an interactive, cool movie. This is not a fun game. Players are not enjoying the pomp and circumstances of getting their ship. Maybe the first few times, but after a while you just want to get your ship Shad.
Talk to us about what the end goal for this. What is the experience loading and unloading a whole series ship supposed to be like?
Obviously, what we have now is I would say a tier 0 implementation.
Oop.
We wanted to get something in for the hulls that was unique because it's a unique ship in the game. It can't land with the spindles extended, and it's big. It's epic, and we wanted the cargo loading for this ship and the series beyond that to feel like it made sense for the cargo trading at that scale, and in particular have that visual be like something that was like compelling. And so we wanted to make that cargo loading in and out like feel like something that was like physically like building up and reducing on the ship. However, obviously it's just doing this like popping in thing, and then also it doesn't support any manual loading. So in the nearer term, we are looking at adding support for manual loading for the hull series and any other ship that might need to dock for cargo support. And I'm not going to say like any particular release or anything, but like absolutely we're looking at bolstering the support for those ships or not just bolstering, but creating the support for those for manual loading at those loading areas on the exterior of the stations, and actually adding to them and having potentially multiple. We're considering different ways to make the throughput on that system make sense.
And it is run intentionally without any cuts. This goes on another minute. Once again, Shad and CRG never have a plan, never have a concept, never think in advance, and never think things through. Shad, this sounds exactly like you have no idea what you are doing, you are just talking to fill the time. Yeah, we are in year 12, and this is the state of CRG Star Citizen. If you ever wondered why we have so little in year 12, listen to Shad. Also have fun manually loading your HAL C, your HAL D, or your HAL E. Are you serious, CIG?
What's the current status of hover trolleys?
Hover trolleys, another thing that was sacrificed to the release gods. In particular, the hover trolleys have some new physics around their behavior, and they were being pretty wonky, I'll put it like that, as far as the actual like attachment onto the hover trolley, not with the attachment, but how the hovering dealt with it. So like you would suddenly have this attachment, and like the thing would kind of like sway around and sometimes like violently flip over or something.
Oh, I have no doubt at all that physics are still terrible in Star Citizen. But why did you show us hover trolleys? This means CRG is just faking videos again and again.
Will the search bar accept actual item names in the future and not just the internal identifier?
Right now, I mean, it's using the what we call the lock string. So I mean, it does, but there's the problem is there's various kinds of data associated with these items that are in different places, and what we haven't done is really built that out. But like it does use the localized item name.
Actually, no, it does not. CRG is terrible with naming things. If you're writing a book, if you work in science, the first thing is be very clear with your naming conventions. For example, don't give different things the same name. But here we have Star Citizen, where naming conventions don't exist. We even have items in the game with the same name, but totally different stats. For example, Yellow Jacket, we have Yellow Jacket ship guns, and we have Yellow Jacket door guns. Those have the same name in the game. You cannot distinguish them, but they have very different stats.
Will we be able to spawn multiple ships at once in the same hangar?
Yes.
Or have you ever considered the ability to name our cargo boxes so that we'll know what was in them when we move stuff around?
Yes. Another thing that is on the design side we're still working on. I remember talking about this like a year and a half ago.
A lot of games let you name your cargo boxes or your containers, but CRT is working on this. In the future, we are planning this. Yay! Thanks for watching and see you next time. Bye. Auf Wiedersehen. Hey, you're still here. You might want to join me on Twitter. My Twitter account is Camural_SC.